Welcome to English Speaking Made Easy. As with all the episodes, this episode also is a new journey in your discovery of English. So let's first begin with our first section, the Grammar Express. If you noticed, in the previous episodes we covered nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and now we are going on to something called the pronoun. Okay, now first, what is a pronoun? A pronoun is defined as a word or a phrase that is used in place of a noun or something which is used as a substitution for a noun. Pronouns are short words and they can do everything that a noun can do, okay, and one of the building blocks of a sentence. So, common pronouns are he, she, you, I, we, us, this, them, that. So, these are some of the common pronouns. Now, a pronoun can, I told you before, a pronoun can do a lot of functions like a noun, which means a pronoun can act as a subject. It can act as a direct object. It can act as an indirect object. It can also be the object of a preposition. So, it can do all these functions. It can be used in place, a substitute for a place, for an animal, and even for a thing. Okay? So, if you are referring to coffee, the pronoun will be it. You can use it as a substitute for coffee. If you are referring to a person, let us say Barbara, you can use a pronoun she. If you are referring to a man, Jeremy, you can use a pronoun he. So, if you are referring to a team, then you can use a pronoun they. So, if you have a sentence like this, Barbara drinks a cup of coffee every afternoon. You are going to add a pronoun, you can say she drinks a cup of it every afternoon. So, she has been replaced for Barbara, it has come in place of coffee, or even she drinks it every afternoon. So, that is how we can replace not just the names of a person, but a place and a thing and an animal too with a pronoun. Okay, now what happens is a pronoun is not something which can stand alone without an antecedent, which means all that we mentioned, the it, the he, the she, there should be some reference to it before, or else it cannot stand by itself. So, every pronoun needs to have what we call an antecedent. So, we have to make sure that the first bit, when we use a pronoun, what we do first is we would say, let us just say Barbara has a lovely dog. She is very fond of it. So, without Barbara coming in first, we will not know what that she refers to. So, we need to have an antecedent. Now, we know she refers to Barbara, we know it refers to the dog. So, every pronoun should have an antecedent. That is important. Now, if it were not for pronouns, what would be the state of our sentences? If we did not use pronouns, imagine we would have to repeat the nouns over and over again. And what does it do to our sentence? What does it do to our speech? It will make it very, very repetitive, and often it becomes very cumbersome, very difficult to understand. So, without pronouns, it would be like this: Barbara drinks a cup of coffee every afternoon. Barbara likes to have coffee before dinner. Barbara likes to. So, it would go on with Barbara and the coffee over and over again. And that is not what we want. There will be no variety to our sentences, there will be a constant repetitive quality to what we say. So, we need to be able to use pronouns effectively for that one purpose. So, pronouns help in the flow of sentences and also makes them more interesting. Now, we have a few examples and I need you to identify the pronouns. Let us have a look. Billy, Karen and I were playing poker with friends. The first sentence. The second sentence, we were playing poker with friends. The pronoun here is we. Okay, it is for three people, so we use we. The next sentence, Billy loves watching movies. The second sentence is she loves watching movies, especially if they are comedies. So, you know how a pronoun came in there. Will Daniel be going to the circus with Sarah? Will he be going there with her? You see, antecedent has come before and a pronoun has been used. So, you see how these pronouns have come in all these sentences. So, pronouns, as I mentioned before, makes our writing, makes our speaking more lucid and dynamic. So, now let us see what are the different types of pronouns. Just like we had for adverbs and nouns and adjectives, there are different types of pronouns too. Now, pronouns can be divided into numerous categories. So, this is what we are going to do now. So, we have, and the first one we are going to do is something called the indefinite pronoun. Now, indefinite pronouns, as the title suggests, it refers to one or more unspecified objects, places, beings, etc. So, we say unspecified because they do not refer to anybody in particular. It could just be, I will give you a few words and then you will notice what I mean by indefinite. The first one, the first indefinite pronoun, someone, anyone, anybody, nothing, nobody. So, you see how these words are. These are not specific to anyone. Like if I give you an example, someone called me up yesterday. What happens here is you do not know who. I am not specifying any particular person. I am just saying someone called me up yesterday. Somebody came home yesterday. So, which means I am not specifying anyone in particular. No one knows the answer to this. It is very indefinite. So, an indefinite pronoun are these words which do not refer to anything in particular. Okay. So, anyone, somebody, whichever, whoever, other, something, nobody, these are all indefinite pronouns. Now, we will see them in a few examples, and these sentences, okay, in these sentences you can identify the pronouns easily. Would anyone like a coffee? The first sentence, would anyone like a coffee? Not specific at all, it is open to anyone. Take whatever you like, again not specific at all. Okay. So, Jamie took one cookie and Ben took the other, because to take whatever you like. Similarly, whoever owns this is in big trouble. I want someone to move this now. In all these sentences, you see nothing is specifically pointing to a person, it is more indefinite. Now, sometimes indefinite pronouns can also be used to create sentences that are almost abstract in quality, and for that we use words like such, all and this, and something, this, such, all and all that. Now, why do you mean something which is abstract? It does, you can make sentences like this: all was not lost, oh such is life, something tells me this won't end well. These are all very abstract constructions with which we use this also with indefinite pronouns. So, now we are coming over to the next category, which is the personal pronoun. Personal pronouns are associated with a certain person, a thing or a group. Unlike an indefinite pronoun, this points out to something specific. Okay. So, you have distinct forms for that, which are both singular and plural. The difference, it keeps changing based on the singular and plural, keeps changing based on the gender too. Okay. Now, specific pronouns are generally used to replace proper nouns or a collective group of people or things. Proper nouns, I suppose you understand, which states people's names, people or places, their names are specified. Now, personal pronouns have two main groups, one referring to the subject and the other referring to the object. So, we will just look at these two differences. The personal pronoun which refers to the subject of a sentence, they are words like I, you, he, she, it, we, you and they. They are always kept in the subject position, because in place of Geeta, Meeta and Neeta, we use the word we. In place of Rita, we can use the word she. In place of Harry, we can use the word he. So, they are all used in the subject position. Then notice that you can be used both in the singular as well as the plural addressing tone. Okay. So, we have these are the personal pronouns in the subjective position. And then you can see sometimes you can also address a group of people using a personal pronoun. Then we use the word they. Okay, a group of people and we use the word they. Now, we have a few examples which will help us understand what we refer to as personal pronouns in the subjective function better. Okay. The first sentence, Jack and David are friends. Now, here we are going to change the personal pronouns. We are going to use them in place of the proper nouns Jack and David, because the two of them we say they. They play basketball together. Okay. Next one, I have more money than he. We will be late if you don't hurry up. So, you see we is all used in place of a plural proper noun. So, this is how we use the subjective pronouns, the personal pronouns which change based on the subject. So, the list I gave you was related to that. Now, we have a second group of personal pronouns which actually replaces the object in a sentence. They are me, you, him, her, it, us, you and them. Okay. Now, look at the sentence again. We will be late if you don't hurry up. Okay. In the above example, we is the subject of the sentence, but you is the object. So, we will be late if you do not hurry up. So, we used you in two places, both as subject and as the object. Now, other examples of pronouns which replace the object. Peter sang the song to me. Missing the train will cause us to be late. Now, this us and this me and all that are the objects. Missing the train will cause us. This us could have been three people. It could have been Jack, Jill and Kate. Now, we are changing all that and we are putting it us. That is the object. She packed them tightly in a suitcase. That sentence you can see both the subject and the personal pronoun in the subject case as well as in the object. She being the subject, them being the object. Okay. So, just to round it up, we have pronouns, they replace nouns, they do all the functions a noun do. They are important to make our sentences lucid and dynamic. I have mentioned two types of pronouns, the indefinite pronoun which does not specify anything in particular, and the personal pronoun which replaces proper nouns both as a subject and as the object. And we had a list of sentences which told you how it replaces it in the subject, how it replaces it in the object. Okay. So, I hope you are clear on how the first two definitions of the first two types of pronouns work. Okay, with this we will continue with this in the next episode. For now, we will move on to our next section, which is lexica. It is our guide to good vocabulary. In this particular section, what we have decided to do is do something regarding crime and punishment and crimes generally. What are the kind of crimes that people commit and a definition for what it means. Okay. The first thing is called abduction. Now, abduction means when you when you forcibly take someone away, like something like kidnapping. When you abduct, when you forcibly take someone away and then you ask for money or something in return. Okay. If you want this person to be returned to you, you need to give us money. That is called abduction, and a person who does this is called an abductor. Okay. More or less like a kidnapper, you could say like an abduction. The second one is arson. Arson means when someone sets fire on a building or on property in full knowledge, means he does not happen accidentally. When you set fire to something on purpose, that is called arson, A-R-S-O-N. Assassination. Assassination means, it means killing, but here assassination actually refers to killing someone very, very important. See, if you and I are killed, it's just someone has murdered us, killed us. But what if it's a world leader? What if it's someone with a lot of power and all that? Then we refer to it as someone, that person has been assassinated. Okay, it depends upon who. And then the next word, blackmail. You know, you might, when you threaten a person with dire consequences, when you tell that person that if you don't do this, I will reveal this, if you don't give me money, I will do this to you, that's a form of blackmail. Then there's another crime, it's called bribery. Bribery basically means when you give money in order to get something done. For example, you need a certificate, and you know the officer will not give it to you unless you pay him some money. That's called bribery. Okay, and it's a very negative thing too. So bribery is giving money for something that you need. The act is called bribery and the person is called a briber. The person, someone who bribed. The next word is burglary. Burglary, I guess we all understand, it is breaking into a house or a shop and stealing the things from there. That's called burglary. Now, a common problem that is directed against children is they are either being sexually and physically and emotionally abused. So, we call that range of crimes as child abuse. Okay, child abuse is what we use for those kind of crimes, which is targeted at children. Now, another word that we have is corruption. When an officer has to be bribed for something to happen, the persistent system is corrupt. We call it corruption. Now, like we have crimes in the physical world, we also have crimes on the internet, and they are called cyber crimes. Cyber crimes are some things that happen in the realm of the internet. You know, when you have someone hacking into your account, hacking into your, it could be a Facebook account or someone who also cracks into your bank account. These are all called cyber crimes, and people who do this are called cyber criminals. Another form of crime which has come to the forefront today is what happens within a family. If your husband beats a wife, or vice versa also, that is technically referred to as domestic violence. So, you can actually get a case registered against domestic violence too. Okay? If you have had alcohol and if you drive, that's called drunk driving. That of course, I am sure you would know, it's called drunk driving. So, now like this, we've discussed many different kinds of crimes. There are even more which we will do later, but right now I don't want to kind of take you in with so much that you will not be able to assimilate. So, take time, think about these different kinds of crime that happen, the words that we can use to express them, and these are all words with a lot of topical interest. So, I hope you've understood those words and you will be able to use them also in your when you speak and when you write. Now, we are going on to our third section, which is Say It Right, your guide to good pronunciation. Here, the basic essence of giving this to you is to make you understand why pronunciation is an integral part of good speaking. So, I keep focusing on certain words, they may be repeated, but even when I repeat them, it is for you to remember and assimilate them and not to go wrong when you use them the next time. Okay? So, I have got a few words collected for you, and we will quickly go on to the first word. The first word is G-E-N-R-E. It basically means category. So, it can refer to the category of films, category of books, okay, and this one word, you hear genre, you have genre, you have different things. The word is actually pronounced genre, genre, genre. Let's go to, there's a sound like genre, okay, it's not genre and all, it's genre. The next word, H-O-T-E-L. So, it's not hotel, the stress does not fall that way, it is hotel, hotel, not hotel, it is hotel. The next word, you see these kind of words often create a problem because they are mixed with two simple words together. Like once I told you cup and board, that creates a problem. The same problem comes in with this particular word too. You have two simple words put together. You have comfort and you have table. Most people feel okay, that's a comfort and that's a table, so it should be pronounced comfortable. It's comfortable. Comfortable. It's not comfortable, it is comfortable. Okay. The next word, S-U-I-T-E. This is not suit. Suit is what you wear. When you have an E there, it is suite. It refers to a kind of large room in a hotel. So, it is not a suite room, it is a suite. It is a suite room. Okay. The next word, E-L-I-T-E. Now, this word very commonly mispronounced, perhaps because it is similar to a popular brand of bread. It is not elite, it is elite. And elite means people in the higher rung of society, the elite in society, the best, the higher rung, the cream. It is called elite. Remember, it is not elite. Okay. The next word is problematic solely because it has a unpronounced letter in between, which is P. So, this word is not receipt, it is receipt, receipt. Okay, that silent letter there is what creates a problem with this word. So, it is not receipt, it is receipt. The P is silent. And then the last word we have for you is the word itinerary. Okay, a slightly difficult word to pronounce. You see the two R's coming together. So, when you pronounce it, it can be slightly difficult. Itinerary. A list of things that you intend to do, your timetable. If you're going on a travel somewhere, you would have your itinerary ready, which means what would you like to do, where you wish to visit. That plan of yours is what this word refers to. Okay. So, I hope you found these words useful, and I am sure many of these words are commonly used words. So, I hope you will be able to use them better the next time. Now, with this we enter the last section for today, which is our conversation guide. Here we are going into Let's Talk, your guide to good speaking. In this particular episode, what we are doing is we are going to give you a conversation that you could have when you are ordering meal or drinks and all that at a hotel. So, you definitely will have a waiter and a a customer and a waiter, or a waitress or a waiter who is there. Okay. So, the waitress starts, hello, I will be your waitress today, can I get you both any drinks? And this person who is the customer would say, yes, I would like an iced coffee please. Okay. Yes, I would like an iced coffee please. Jane and I will have the same please. Perhaps he is with his wife or with his friend. So, he says Jane and I will have the same please, which refers to iced coffee. And the waitress says, okay, 2 iced coffees, here you are. Are you now ready to order, or would you like a few more minutes? So, no, they are not rushing the customer there. So, the first after the iced coffee is served, asks him, are you ready to order, or would you like a few more minutes to think of what you want to have? And Paul says, no, I think we are ready to order. I will have the chicken soup to start, and the steak with fries and mixed vegetables. Okay, so, he says he would like to have chicken soup and he would like to have steak with fries and mixed vegetables. And remember, the word is S-T-E-A-K. It is not steak, it is steak, it is meat. So, the waitress says, how do you want the steak? Cooked rare, medium, or well done? Do you want it rare, slightly not very much done, medium, or would you like it well done? And Paul says, I would like it well done please, that is nicely cooked. And Jane says, I don't want a starter, I would like to have fried chicken with fries and a side salad please. Okay. And the waitress says, okay, your meals will be here shortly. Now, what you order is not the important thing here. Okay, you could order whatever you place the order for is fine. The only thing is how they've used the sentences. And the waitress says, your meals will be here shortly. And after some time the meals are ready and the waitress comes in. So, here are your meals. If you need anything else, just ask. Okay, and she wishes them have a nice meal. So, the sentence is here, can I get you any drinks? This is what we need to focus on, how they've built it in. Can I get you any drinks? That gives them a choice, yes or no. Are you now ready to order, or would you like a few more minutes? That's important, okay. And then the other person says how they've used the word or, and then you have them placing the order. These kind of expressions are what I felt is interesting. Now, what you place the order for, they want for steak and fried chicken, it could be anything differently for you, but the way the question and answers are asked, that is where this whole process becomes interesting. Okay. So, soup, steak, all these words have figured up there. I am sure you know what it is. Steak is it's like a meat dish, and you have fried chicken and all that. So, this is how the conversation between a waitress and a client or a customer happens in the hotel. So, this is just one scenario. There could be others also, which we will do later. Okay. So, with this we come to an end of today's episode, and I hope you found it useful. So, until we meet you again next time, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.